Being your spiritual leader isn't easy. A lot of bitches have been acting like bitches. Treat me, like a bitch would treat somebody. Rolling their eyes, doing their little neck swing or whatever, little hints they do, little subtle hints. And I don't really give a shit because does the Pharaoh care that the rabble doesn't approve of what he's doing? No. It's kind of the same way I see it. I'm spiritually above everybody on this fucking planet that comes to mind right at this moment. And so it puts me in a position where I could easily say, oh, I'm fucking special. But no, I don't really care. I suffered a lot to get to that point, and I've been misunderstood by mediocre minds. Even my lowest IQ test scores were way above average. I went through every school course I've ever gone to since I was about 13, high on marijuana, just to get me through because I knew that I was feeling a lot of hatred. And a lot of people tried to scrutinize me over time, and really there's nothing you can do besides take a blood test or something, which wouldn't really prove anything. So I came to the conclusion that the scum don't like me. And when I checked, I'm going to tell you one method that we used in the past that worked out good for us, is that we would put a mark on a stone and throw it over the fence. And that's how I found a lot of information out and how we exchanged information. But then I found out that the government is trying to plant a mole in my group, and that there's more than one law enforcement agency investigating me, and they're citing events in the news that happened and citing my behavior, and the different units are making different recommendations. And it's quite an interesting procedure that they're undertaking, and the process is quite absurd. But at any rate, I don't have much time before they make their move and the retaliation begins. Now, I know they have thoroughly scrutinized all my correspondence, so the first strike against them has already begun. I told them about violating my rights. I told them about everything. I said I'm not a terrorist. I said I'm the good guy. I took him through history, through the different dynasties, the Sung dynasty, the Zhou dynasty, Genghis Khan and the Mongols. I took him through the assassins and the different relevant years. Okay, I took him through the 25th dynasty that predates the Persian Empire. I took him through history logically, and I gave people a logical response to how I was feeling, from a half Caucasian, half Igbo point of view. And to make a long story short, my family came here from Nigeria, and my mom was living already here in the States. And historically, we are the smartest family in the world. But that doesn't make me any better than anybody else. I'm not a racist, like I always point out, and there's a lot of events in my life that are similar to a lot of events in my series. And people in my family, like, when I spoke of an aunt in my, there's an aunt in my family I don't like, obviously, but she's not mentioned in my series. I know that's hard for some of you to believe. People have been pestering me about that, saying, okay, she's plotting with a lot of other people. So on one hand, I got my aunt plotting with a lot of people against me. I have the law enforcement investigating me illegally. My parents going out of their way to try to prove that, oh, we're on your side, and he's just got some kind of mental disorder or disease, or he's just antisocial, or he's just an asshole, whatever their current excuse is. It's irrelevant, and it does not apply to a genius such as myself. What is going on is quite disturbing. It is a deluge of fraudulent accusations against me and unscrupulous investigators who are practicing colonialism and imperialism. There's a difference, but sometimes there's a mix of the two as well. and they're also practicing ethnic discrimination. It's because I'm black, and they are waiting. They knew that they don't have enough cause and enough reasonable suspicion, enough reasonable cause to detain me and search me and try to take my stuff, try to look, oh, does he have any pictures of his girlfriends? Does he have any money he got stashed away? Does he have any drugs that we can pocket? You know, they really want to take things from me. And I've planned every moment. I'm not like a little kid planning to have some kind of unrealistic bombing or terrorist acts and planning a getaway in a plane. No, no, no. I'm not a terrorist. I am the guy who is defending my race. But let's not get it twisted. If I feel that my race is being dealt with unfairly, I will resort to terrorism. But I'm not a terrorist. But believe me, just like a lot of brilliant people, I have a great propensity to enable terrorists and to be a terrorist myself. But no, I'm not going to take that route. You know, you gotta be kidding. That's insulting that you people would even investigate me and use that pretense. And oh, we're gonna have this pretext by putting this bullshit in the news. And you know, they use pretext and pretense. And think about it. Why do I use these words? I'm not being subtle. I'm being direct, and I'm using the word that describes what they're doing the best. I'm not trying to use fancy words. It really takes me using these kind of words, this cronyism, this nepotism, like they found in the news in the Vatican, the article on the Vatican corruption, the articles on the Italian mafia and their corruption, the articles on the Mossad and their phony terror, the accusations by Mubarak's lawyers, the CIA and the Mossad were responsible for the assassinations and the turmoil in Egypt of the protesters. My name is Truco Mecca. On this degree, either you are a scumbag or you have chosen God. The time is coming for us all to choose. Yes, I felt that I was a bit harsh with women. No, I do not take it back. Because the New World Order are using women, just like that woman who suffocated her boyfriend and tried to lie about what happened. They manipulate, they lie, they conspire with others, and sometimes their plans fall through. The few times that we catch these women who have nothing to do but sit home all day and plot, the few times we catch these whores in the act, is because it's a fluke. It's because they have so much time to plan. They're like witches, and they're mixing their brew. Ooh, I can't wait till my brew comes out. It's like their little plot, you know? They're witches. I know some devils like that. I'm related to some, but I'm not going to elaborate about it. But you believe in truth, you believe in love and rightfulness, you also believe in scum and hate and wickedness. And wickedness. People being wicked and practicing the art of deception and deceit and coercive activity coming from the scum and the brethren of the scum. And we have people trying to marry into the family of Egypt for the riches. You have people trying to marry into my family for the riches. And I've been calling them out. And do I hate them? They're still my family. But they're the people like in the Roman family. It's like people from the Roman family who backstabbed their own family for years and years. Now they're coming to my family and they want to backstab me. And their own family warned me about them. I'm not going to elaborate anymore. Because I don't really care to disrespect them, believe it or not. I don't care to think about them. They want to force their way into my life and my videos, and basically they're nobody. They're irrelevant. I advise you not to look into it deeper because they don't matter. What does matter is the list that I've given to my disciples, my followers, and we have left no electronic correspondence. There's plenty of correspondence on many social media sites that I've taken part in, but there's nothing there. I spent years wandering the streets and years making useless correspondence with even sometimes saying off-the-wall things to women. And I don't care. You know, if they can want to hold it against me, fine. I stand with God. On this degree, we are holding the sword of righteousness. You know, I was going to show you another sword I have, and, you know, should I do it? Nah. It doesn't really matter all the weapons I have and don't have, and it doesn't matter. I'm not a threat to anybody but the terrorists, and if you raid me, you're not going to find anything. Mark my words. Only thing you're fined is a lawsuit. I live on private property, and anybody who comes within 100 feet of me at night, I will consider a threat. Anybody who comes in the early hours or any time period I consider unreasonable, I will consider a threat and assassinate. This is why Boko Haram won't come. Because we killed more people than all the Mexican cartels put together. We killed more people than the history of Mexico and all its wars. Because we're the Igbo nation. And we killed almost 1 million Nigerian army troops. They can't even count how many people. They come up with, they shoot low and say 1 million. It's really 3 million people died. Around 500,000 to 1 million starved to death. Around 500,000 to 1 million were killed by Igbo soldiers. And around 1 million people were killed by Nigerian soldiers. Whether they're Igbo soldiers or mostly civilians. So mostly they killed civilians, and we killed mostly troops. Very few civilians. So we are the most noble tribe. Our war tactics prove it. Instead of slaughtering people like the Fulani did, we sold them as slaves, and their descendants live on to America in this day, and they're doing quite successful, whether they're true trader Igbos or whether they're Fulani. We won the Fulani Igbo wars. We won the Yoruba Igbo wars. We sit on the land that matters. Us and our brothers in the Igbo and in the southern Delta states, the different kinds of Jews that I mentioned in my past videos, the different kinds of small tribes that are sitting on the oil. And I talked about the Idoma, and I talked about their neighbors, I talked about the Ija, I talked about the different factions, I talked about Sabbatan Jews, I talked about the different Igbo factions, and the Edo states, and the different states that have the Igbos in the southeastern states, and the different regions, and the different houses, and the different Gad and Naphtali, and the Libyans, and the Judeans, and the Israelite bloodlines. Now, at this degree, I've told you quite straightforward, I've told you in a manner that is quite straightforward, that my tribe holds the truth, just like the Lemba, just like the Ethiopian Jews. And we have been denied by the fake Jews our rightful claim into Israel, so I have no love for them scum. They will not build the New Jerusalem without Igbos. Mark my word, I have seen everyone's fate, and I will not reveal it to anyone, but those I choose within my inner circle, and it will not be anybody who has any disdain or spite in their heart for Africans or African religion, and it will not be anybody who is inbred white. They have to be mixed. They have to have African blood. Now, recently I saw a woman that I fell in love with right away, and I know that I can't feel that way for her. And I wonder if it has something to do with the angel I saw, but it doesn't matter if it does, because I am not somebody anybody could love. I've been rejected over 777 times by women in my life, and I've reached the number where I can rebuke them now. And it's not just one or two, it's all of them. I've even been betrayed by my own mother, been betrayed by my own aunt. My own grandmother was a great woman. Pretty much both of them were pretty good. There might be times where they annoyed me, but overall, my family, the older members of my family, are good people. And my grandmother, sometimes I worry. Look, I'll tell you like this. If anything happens to anybody I care about, mark my words, I will kill every member of Boko Haram. And I will make their families cry every day until the Nile is reborn. If any injustice comes to anything I care about, I will put down my cross and shamefully pick up the sword and sacrifice not only with my life, but my soul for my people. Because I fight for God. And the only way I would jeopardize my soul is for love. This is why Jesus whipped the money lenders, even though it's a sin. The temple is Nigeria in Africa, where man evolved no hatred for you, Japheth, and your descendants. I don't hate you. You hate me. You pushed me away.